Shalom Akim, it's the brother Samak, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, giving double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to you sincere brothers out there pushing this word, doing your part in this ministry, seeking the kingdom, and having faith in Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, you sincere brothers, man, it's being brotherly. I'm just coming with a quick video. It's an impromptu. Basically, I'm entitled this video somewhere around the lines of, just it's a high time to come back to the truth, man. It's a high time to wake up out your sleep, And we watching the news, being a watchman, that we are. We see Jeremiah 50th chapter coming to fruition, where it says that the Lord will stir up the nations against Babylon, against America. You got Russia, North Korea, talking together. You got Putin. He's basically making allies with, all these different countries, China, Venezuela, Iran, India. He's getting there with North Korea now. And, North Korea is getting in good with South Korea. So if you get North Korea, you got South Korea. So, Russia's, fulfilling that prophecy as we speak, man. The Lord is definitely, working right now to where he's setting up World War III to happen, man. So we see these prophecies coming. We see this kingdom falling, man. We see the economy is collapsing, right before our eyes, just in, ways that the general public will not be able to see, We see, because we see the wickedness is at an all-time high, with homosexuality, transgenderism, religion, and just basically all the hell that's breaking loose, We see it. I'm going to start with a precept. I'm going to just start with Romans 13 chapter, 11 verse. And it says, now that knowing the time that it is high, it says, and that knowing the time that now it is high time to awake out of sleep. For now is our salvation nearer than we believed. Yeah, so our salvation is nearer than what we believe, man. We saw, brothers in the truth will be like, man, Lord willing, in the next 5 years, you know what I'm saying? But honestly, man, it could be quicker than that. It could be sooner than that, These the Lord could, for real, the next couple prophecies that have to come to fruition, with the economy collapse, Jacob's trouble, the famine of the word, the famine of bread, all those things come into play with Jacob's trouble. So when the economy collapses, Jacob's trouble is coming to fruition. With Jacob's trouble, you already know it's going to be a famine of the word. It's going to be a famine of bread. There's going to be all hell breaking loose. And when that happens, that they're going to have to implement that new world order, which is that microchip, man, the mark of the beast. So it's not like these prophecies are really stretched out, man. The next couple prophecies, the next major prophecies that has to come into play for us to get up out of here are really all a domino effect, man, one after the other. So it's definitely a high time to wake up out your sleep, because that microchip is being pushed, man. Like Apostle Tahar says, the year of Karagma, man. That microchip is being pushed, man. You got societies going cashless, man. You seeing more and more posts and different articles about the RFID chip. You see that a lot of countries are starting to get away from the U.S. dollar, and that's going to force America to find that new currency, that new thing that's going to take over, That microchip is it, man. That's going to be able for them to have their one world government, their one world religion. They want to have one world language, one world everything, man. That's America. They want, they're going back to the time of Antiochus Epiphanes, man. When you read First Maccabees, where it goes into how he said he wants all people to be one people, man. That's that same spirit that Esau's in today, trying to everybody to be one people, man. Everybody's following the same accord, but the type of culture and wavelength that they're trying to be on is complete wickedness, and it's completely contrary to the Holy Scriptures, man, and to the law and to the ways of Yahweh, Now, eventually, it's going to come to when we're in rulership, man, as the hopeful elect, man. Israel, when we take over, we're going to rule in righteousness, and we're going to force the heathen to come into subjection to the laws. We're not going to allow the world to be go to shits again, basically. We're not going to allow them to be pushing that homosexuality. No, we're not going to let that happen, man. And it's all in righteousness. Um, but that's why it's really important to study, man, and get back into this word, and ultimately just try to get these scriptures programmed and burnt into your brain, into your memory, man, because it's all about applying the scriptures at the end of the day. We gain this knowledge to be able to apply these things to our lives, man. To be able, ultimately, as prophets, to be able to teach the people so they can come back. But in reality, we can't be preaching the word and not doing the word. You know what I'm saying? We can't be preaching the ways of those scriptures and not keeping the ways of the scriptures, man. I'm gonna get a scripture on that, but let me get this first. This is 1 Peter 4:7. It says, "But the end of all things is at hand. Be ye therefore sober and watch unto prayer." Yeah. So the end of things are definitely coming, man. That time is coming to fruition. Esau is built in his army. He's ready. He's setting up to make his moves against the prophets, man. He's ready to demonize us. We already got our camp listed from 2018's top 20 hate groups in Pennsylvania. So they already keeping tabs on us brothers, man. They keeping tabs on us, man, making sure that when the time comes, they ready to make their mark. They ready to make their move, man, and demonize us, bro, man. Put us in the media, ready to come to our jobs, come to our homes, man. Persecute us in front of our families, man. And it's going to come a time where a lot of you brothers need to really examine yourselves, whether you be in the faith, man. And definitely fast and prayer to Yahweh while you have a shot, man. Because at the end of the day, us being in this truth, we can say we're going to be strong in that day. We can say what we will do in that day, but at the end of the day, that's complete prideful for us to even say what we are and what we are not going to do in that day, man. And we have hope that we are going to be like we say we are, but really it's all prideful at the end of the day. It really comes down to what the will of Yahweh is, because many are called but few are chosen. That's why we are prisoners of hope. We are the hopeful elect, man, because some brothers could get taken and in a drop of a hat, they got Esau got your family and your kids at gunpoint, and they say, take this chip, denounce your faith, and your family could live. And you never know, the Lord might have a spirit on you in that day towards you choose your family, man. But you was in the truth 10 straight years, man. That's why I don't, it's the experience and time in this thing is really important, but also it's not the most important thing. It all comes down to faith. You can have a newer brother come into the truth a year, 2 years in, and have more faith than a brother that been in this thing 15 years, Really, Yahweh could have chosen this brother that been in the truth 1, 2, 3 years over this brother that been in the truth 15, 20 years, At the end of the day, it all comes down to the will of the Heavenly Father, man. Just because you're an elder don't mean your spot is secure, man. And I'm humbly saying that in the most humble way I could possibly say it, Now, granted, the elders and apostles definitely double honors to them, and I see it, they on fire, man. They definitely, they got it, Lord willing, Yahweh, continues that mercy to be upon us, man. Because in reality, man, I speak this as a man, and as humble as I can say it. It's really a lot of Israelites, man. There's a lot of brothers in this truth, man, in the camp that talk a good game, and it kind of reminds me of the Pharisees, man, because they talk so holy, but in reality, they're not really showing that same holiness. They talk about being brotherly and sincere, but they're not really showing and acting on that brotherly and sincerity, Now, I understand there's definitely a breaking point when it comes to dealing with certain brothers and certain people, that you can clearly tell if a brother's being wicked or not, or if a brother's really being sincere. And at that point, we supposed to be strong and men in this truth. But at the end of the day, to be really brotherly, like Yahweh Shai said, one of the greatest commandments is to love your neighbor like yourself. That's really something that everybody in this truth struggles with, or a vast majority of brothers in this truth struggle with. I strongly believe that, man. And it's okay because at the end of the day we're still in the flesh, man. These things are not going to really be revealed in full effect until we get the kingdom, man. Until we get these changed bodies, man. When the Lord really instills all the wisdom and knowledge and understanding into our hearts, man. Let me get this real quick. It says Galatians 6:3. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceiveth himself. Yeah, and that's something that a lot of brothers might really struggle with. They might see themselves to be this holy and mighty man, this righteous brother. But in reality, you really are a little carnal, man. There's brothers in the truth that's really carnal, man. You got brothers that, like in certain situations, won't really admit to their wrongdoings, man. Or a brother might be sincere in an apology, and a brother just brush you off, man. That's not being brotherly, you know. I feel like we're like the scripture said, man. It's high time to wake up. It's no time for all this back and forth beefing and brothers getting in it with other brothers. Like, there's no time for that, man. At the end of the day, bro, we all trying to get saved, man. Fuck all that shit, man. Really, like a few months back, man. The one elder, man, Manatas, like I believe it was, made a video, man, beautiful video talking about, don't get caught up, stop getting all caught up in rank, man. It's really brothers getting all caught up in rank, man. It's like, and even as a younger brother, being in the truth, for a couple years, but really being in the camps and preaching the word for about 8-9 months, you know, I'm saying this in the most humble way possible. Like, a lot of these brothers is getting too caught up in this rank. In reality, it's like they're kind of getting carnal with it. And I went to military school. I've been in military school for years. I grew up in military school, basically. I grew up in an environment where I already understood rank. I understood being in order. I understood all these things. So me and two of my other brothers are also in the truth. We all grew up in the same environment. So we already naturally have that backbone and understanding of rank and order and being humble. So, you know, that was never a problem. But it comes to a certain point where it just becomes carnal, or it becomes being I can't really think of the word. Like, if you got, like, let's just say you have a boss, right? And you could just tell he's being a tyrant, it's like, all right, it's a breaking point where it comes down to he's taking he's basically power struck. Some brothers are in that type of mind frame, man. you know. But a lot of brothers don't really mean it, and that's okay. But some brothers are so prideful that they can't even really examine themselves, like the scriptures say. Examine yourself, man. Examine yourself, man. If a brother is coming at you a certain way, telling you, "Yo, brother, I think you should handle this a little differently," even if he's a younger brother, don't be all prideful and then try to demean or undermine a younger brother just because he's younger in the truth. Don't mean that he can't teach you something, Just because he's a younger brother in the truth don't mean he don't have some type of wisdom or advice that he can give you. At the end of the day, it's prideful to think that, because Yahweh will send the most humble person ever to teach you a lesson. Yahweh will send a kid, man, to teach you something. So brothers really need to grasp that concept and understand that, like, all right, let me just take a little heed, especially if the brother's coming at you sincerely, man. It's starting to get really annoying, man. Hearing about a lot of shit that's going on in Israel, man. Now, one thing I can say humbly, that Yahweh blessed me with all my life, man. Even in the world, I was always one of the most humble, most sincere, and honest brothers. I was always that type of person, because growing up, I always had some type of insecurity and self-confidence issues and trust issues as well. So I always made it, basically, I always tried to make it, I took pride in basically being the most honest person I could be, being the most sincere, always looking to help brothers out, always looking to help people out, man, and be honest with people, because I always wanted the same thing in return, because I felt like I wasn't getting that in my life. So I always made it a thing to where I said, look, I'm going to always be honest and sincere with people, even if they being wicked with me, man, or lying to me. I'm going to always keep it cordial and cool with brothers, man. And I'm one of the most mellow tempered brothers that you could ever meet. And if I ever get stirred up, man, that's because something's really, really off, man. not to get off topic, but I'm gonna get this precept basically going into the point I'm trying to make. This is Matthew 23. I'm gonna start at verse 2. It says, saying, I just start at verse 1. Then spake Yahweh Shai to the multitude and to his disciples, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit in Moses' seat. Talking about the big, Moses was that guy in that time where he was basically ordering things, man. He was telling the children of Israel what they need to do and what they need not to do, how they need to move and how they need not to move. And he was talking about the scribes and the Pharisees in that time, and this very concept still grass could come to this day. Verse 3 says, all therefore whatsoever they bid you observe, that observe and do. Yeah, so they'll teach you the laws, they'll tell you about the laws, how you need to be, how you need not to be, right? And he's the Lord, and Yahweh Shai is like, so what they tell you to do it, It says, but do not after ye, he says, but do not ye after their works, for they say and do not. So you have these people who preach the law down your throat. And this goes for other camps, not even just Great Millstone, man. It goes for a lot of other camps, but they'll preach the law, that's the law, that, the law, that's the law, that. They'll preach all these things. Be brotherly, be humble, be sincere, be, all these things. But they're not really doing the things that they speak. They're not applying the same thing that they're pushing down your throat. They want you to be humble, but in reality, to themselves, they're not being humble themselves, man. They tell you to be sincere, but they're not being sincere to themselves, man. We all in the flesh, man. We all make mistakes. We all gonna be wrong. Ain't no brother in this truth perfect, man. Ain't no brother in this truth 100% righteous, man. When it comes to the law's sake. Even in the spirit, some brothers in the spirit, sometimes that old man creeps up on us, man. We get a little carnal, man. At the end of the day, brothers is not perfect, man. So there's a lot of brothers in the truth. If they mess up, man, they come at you sincerely as a brother, man. Yahweh Shah says, forgive that brother because he's sincere, man. Basically, brothers, just examine yourselves, man. Now, I'm not the most righteous brother myself, man. I know I have a lot of ways that I can improve on, I have a lot of things I can improve on when it comes to making. I'm gonna just put it out there, man. When it comes to making videos, I know I could be a lot better when it comes to making videos. But I'm constantly in the spirit. I'm constantly praying to the Heavenly Father, man. I'm constantly being brotherly. I'm constantly making sure I'm trying to be the best and have the most faith in this truth possible, And I'm growing, man. I'm growing every day, man. I'm learning. I'm growing. I'm learning. I'm praying to the Lord for help, man. And I feel like the Lord's pleading with me. The Lord's helping me, man. But everybody has their own journey. Not every brother putting up videos, four videos a day, is really of the elect, And that's just the truth of the matter. At the end of the day, we got faith that we are of the elect. That's why we do the work, But, with that, Lord willing, you were edified by this video, brothers. Just double honors to the elders again, man. Peace and blessings to you, brothers, man. I pray Yahweh Hashem, Yahweh Shah, send you brothers blessings and mercy and peace in any way you can in this captivity. We almost up out of here, man. Just do the work, man. And don't be hearers of the word. Don't be sayers of the word, but be doers of the word. Shalom.